This is Unit 2, Practice 1, number 4. So the instructions above say to find the measure of angle x and angle y. Here we don't have an angle x. X is just a value of these angles. We'll find all of them. Again, add to your diagram a letter E. And up here I'm going to put a letter F so that we can refer to these angles specifically. Remember, we need 3 letters to name an angle, especially when we have more than one angle. And that middle letter needs to be a vertex, which we don't have labeled right now. So I'm going to call that vertex angle E. Okay. So this diagram is a little bit more complicated than the last one. Some of you may be tempted, or at least may notice, right here, that these angles are vertical, so this is 3x minus 25 as well. And some of you may start off like this: 3x minus 25 plus y plus 2x minus 5 equals 180. The reason we cannot use this is because we have 2 variables. Okay, we have an x variable and a y variable, but we only have one equation. If you remember from algebra, in order to solve an equation that involves 2 variables, you need 2 equations so that you can eliminate one of the variables. So because we have x and y in this equation up here, we cannot use this. Okay, so we need to find another way. So what I noticed down here is that angle CEB plus angle DEB is equal to 180. And why is that? They're supplementary. So I can do 5x plus 45 plus 3x minus 25 equals 180. And I have one equation with one variable in it, and that's perfectly acceptable. So we combine our like terms. We get our non-x terms to one side, and we find that x equals 20. Okay, x is not a measure of an angle, so I need to substitute back in. 5 times 20 plus 45. That means this is 145 degrees. And I can substitute into the other side, and I will find this is 35 degrees, or I can subtract 145 from 180. Since these are vertical, I know this is also 35 degrees. Put my little congruency marks on there. And if I plug in here, I happen to find that this is also 35 degrees. Okay, so I've substituted in x for any angle measure that has an x in it, and I use the vertical angle relationship here. So now all that's left to do is to find y. Well, again, we have a line, CED, or a straight angle. So we have 35 plus angle y plus 35 equals 180. We have a straight angle, or angles at a point. I'm sorry, not angles at a point, angles forming a line. So that is angle y plus 70 equals 180. So we get that the measure of angle y is 110 degrees. So we've found all the angles, we've done part 1, we are now going to do the explanation part. Again, you can bullet this doesn't have to be in any kind of paragraph form here. So what did we do first? We said that angle CEB and angle DEB are supplementary. Angles, and sum to 180. Okay, and we did that to find x and then substitute back in. We found x and substituted in. To find the angle measures. Okay, notice I didn't explain. I added these together and subtracted and combined like terms. That's not necessary. That is not geometry vocabulary. Alright, so that gave me those other angles there. What did we do now? We know that angle BED is vertical, is a vertical angle with CEA, angle CEA, so they are equal. We also know that angle DEF equals 35 degrees from substitution. So we can now explain where we got angle Y. Angle Y is an angle forming a line. And you can name the angles it forms a line with CEA and DEF. With angle CEA and angle DEF, meaning they sum to 180. Therefore, the measure of angle Y is 110. And that is all for that example.